Hello, 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 hello again, and welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to my let's play Swooning over stands forward routes. How y'all doing tonight? Good, good. Let's get right back into it then. Huzzah! Excelsior and what so forth, I don't know. Were any of these creatures ever dangerous? Oh, extremely! Some were worse. Dangerously annoying. Though Ford seems to find his own comment amusing, he doesn't fail to notice your unease. I do have weapons in case things escalate, so there's no need to worry. You brought weapons? Not many. I have a stun gun, my fists, and my sharp wit. I feel safer already. You must have gotten up to some pretty crazy stuff back then. That's one way to put it. Only took 6 years for me to get in over my head. He takes a silent moment to look away from your gaze, seemingly in bittersweet remembrance. Let's ask about the creatures. It says here that Mothman turns into a bunch of moths? Yes, that's how we'll get that moth wing. Then why not use mothballs as repellent? Well, I've never tried. Could the most conventional method be the unconventional one? Or would Mothman be able to overcome its mothly nature and persist? You mentioned gnomes. Other places have rats, mice, or insects. As house pests, we have gnomes. Picture your typical garden gnome, but more disturbing. Will we catch sight of that terror bird? I doubt we'll spot it today, but perhaps we can go bird watching later if you're interested. There are floating eyeballs here. Sounds disconcerting, doesn't it? I once released them in my house by accident, and found eyeballs in the most unsuspecting places for months. My guest chose not to comment on my choice of house decor. Gravity Falls is home to giant vampire bats? Giant fruit bats, actually. They were among the first to teach me not to judge a creature by its reputation. I only realized they were harmless once I'd been bitten by one. Oh no, that still sounds pretty bad. It actually healed quite fast. I attribute that to the health kick I was on soon after. Gribloblin. Ah, a rare specimen that I've steered clear of when accompanied by others. Though if you want to see one in person, I'm sure it wouldn't hurt to walk into that situation again for the sake of education. You didn't bring your magnet gun? I thought it would be prudent to leave its magnetic fields alone for a while, until I have the time to optimize it. You see, I was trying to widen the area of magnetic influence, but it's been a while since I last worked with the gun. I tried to refamiliarize with myself with its inner workings. My guess is I switched a wrong wire or two and instead narrowed the beam. I'd like to see how it works sometime. Really? You know, if you're such interested in devices like that, my old research college Fiddleford would have more to show you. He's the engineering genius around here. I can't English. I can't English. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too... This is too... Ugh, this is just too much. I can't English. Oh my god, I just can't. Fuck everything. So about the leprechaun, Ford groans. You wait for further answer, but that's it. Okay. Well, that seems like that's it. I'm going to shave really quick. Suddenly, Ford puts out an arm. I'm sorry. Suddenly, Ford puts an arm out in caution, slowing his pace. You narrowly manage not to collide into him and take a quick glance in order to see nothing. Look, there! You see what looks like a bundled up plaid shirt moving along the forest floor. Wait, is that a beaver's tail? It looks like a platypus. Ah, what are you doing all the way out here? Don't you mean platypus? Ford shakes his head with a grin. I meant what I said. It's a platypus. A platypus. Ford moves into a crouch, but stays at a respectable distance, following the small creature. You watch him, and after a moment, mimic his actions. Ford's giving the creature a bright smile, the first of its kind that you've seen since leaving Mabel at the shack. You're a cute one, aren't you? And in one of my favorite patterns, too. Ford motions for you to move forward a little more to the distance he's maintaining. If I were to rate the oddities that live in this forest on a scale of least to most annoying, these little guys would get immunity. They have done nothing wrong, and I appreciate them for it. As the two of you watch in quiet appreciation, the platypus ambles into the underbrush and vanishes from view. What a cute little guy. The two of you continue deeper into the forest. The foliage seems denser now, and you look through the tree tops for a glimpse of the sun, which is now by now I can't English. Ugh, I'm sorry. Which has by now dropped low in the sky. It had already been getting late when you left, but you hadn't thought Mothman would be this far out. Almost as though he'd read your mind, Ford answers for you. Mothman is a rather exclusive, and as such lives deeper within the forest than bolder creatures like the gnomes. Are you alright? Huh? That is, are you tired at all? I should have asked sooner. It's just been a long time since I've traveled with anyone new. Stanley, tends to speak his mind without my asking. I'm fine, really. I'm glad to hear it. Still, we still have some time until sunset. Let's wait here in the meantime. You mentioned traveling with Stan? I suppose it wouldn't do any harm to tell you. He says that, but the tone of his voice says he's been dying to tell someone for months. Oh, Ford. I've been sailing with Stanley around the world, chasing after hotspots of anomalous activity. He seemed to view it as a vacation, but I saw it as a chance to pick up on some serious research. I've been rather eager to break the news of what we've found to the world, but I must first organize my findings. And if I'm to be honest, I still need some time to get back in the swing of things. Must be strange to come back home after traveling so long, huh? More than you know. Ford laughs, shaking his head. Behind his glasses, his eyes are downcast, almost sad. You want to ask, but you decide to stay silent. The moment the sun touches the horizon through the gaps in the treetops, Ford gestures for the two of you to continue. You hadn't noticed, but you've been resting within short distance of the small clearing that holds a cylindrical stone marker. The stone marker bears intricate swirls carved into its surface. Ford reaches into his coat and produces the pack of gum from earlier, opening it and dumping the pieces out into his palm. Fuck. Gum? Thanks. Unsure of why you came all the way out here to unwrap gum at sunset, you accept a stick of gum. Ford puts the remaining gum in his coat breast pocket. He unwraps the now empty gum packet to reveal that it was hiding a small piece of parchment, folded up to act as lining. He smooths it out against the stone, holding it under the deep orange-red light of the sunset. You step closer to look over Ford's shoulder. The parchment holds a detailed drawing of the swirls carved into the stone, documenting every crack on the surface. As you watch, a golden cursive unfolds itself across the page, seemingly fueled by the sunset's warm light. Ford reads the words as they appear. Such a plate the Mothman do rest, but please do not disturb his nest. If kindness be something thou bereft. Ford lifts the parchment a little higher to prevent his shadow from obscuring the rest of the line. Follow thy nature and turn left. I think we turn left. Sorry about that. That's an awkward silence. I was checking my phone since it pinged me. I think so, Rose. We press onward. Left leads you to a dimly lit cave, which Ford says he remembers well, except last time he was here. It was pitch black since he arrived in the middle of the night. From its depths you hear the faint sound of dripping water. Water, agua. H2O. Echoing off the cave's shadow surrounding shrouded walls. God fucking damn it, I can't English. English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Obviously not, I don't. Even though it's my native language. I am not a good English speaker. I can't speak English. I suck. You slow as your eyes attempt to adjust to the low light. Ford pauses in front of you, reaching into his lab coat for something. Hold on, I have a flashlight in here somewhere. This cave has never received much natural light, you see, and, He rummages further and you see a couple of dye, the pad of paper from earlier, and a quill. He has some custom pocket work going on in there too, and you bet one of his coat's inner pockets has a pen protector in it. Here we are at last. Allow me to... Darn, out of batteries. Wait, I think I have one. You pull out your phone and turn on its flashlight. The light is small, but it does the job. Huh, you saved our hides there, Rose. I was about to pull out a matchbook. With your light guiding the way, you and Ford move further into the cave, which yawns wide around you. It is until the silver of natural light from the entrance disappears that Ford speaks again. It's been years since I've been in here, decades even at this point, but I'll always remember the eye bats as one of my first discoveries when I arrived at Gravity Falls. How did you find them in the first place? One got into my house, you see. I was making breakfast one morning, and one managed to find my cereal box. When I poured the cereal into the bowl, it came fluttering out, agitated, like it belonged there. The nerve! He still sounds so indignant even years later that you laugh. I wanted to contain it for further study, but unfortunately it managed to get away. As I thought about it afterwards, its pupil had constricted against the light unfamiliar of the bright light in the kitchen, so either it's nocturnal or... It lives in the deepest, darkest cave in Gravity Falls. I found them easily after that. Did you manage to catch one? Somewhat. I came running through this cave with a butterfly net in my wits. I brought a flashlight at the time. They all hid in dark corners. Once I turned the flashlight off, they flocked to me. I caught 18 of them that day, but it reminded me of the stealth uses of... The rapid sound of clicking claws against the stone startles you, a shiver running up your spine. The dark. You turn off your light. Ford taps your shoulder and gestures for you to keep moving forward. Eventually the narrow passage widens into a large room. The darkness shrouds the source of the dripping water from view, but as your eyes adjust, you squint to see a strange winged shadow. A shadow with eyes that glow red in near darkness like rubies. Your breath catches in your throat as a realization comes over you. Ford is apparently fairly close to you in the room. You find when he speaks a few inches from your shoulder, you catch the shadow of his arms swing out in a wide arc like he's introducing you to. Rose, I'd like for you to meet the Mothman. He whispers, but even in the dark you can see him grinning excitedly at you. Ford looks between you and the Mothman, apparently hoping for a dramatic reaction. Your speechlessness seems to satisfy him. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's a 15-minute mark. So, I'm afraid that's it for this episode. We will continue Ford's route later. So peace and love in the sky above, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye!